Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. जय माँ, जय माँ, सबको जय माँ। आज का क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। ओके, दिस इज NLFM19. This is the username. So the person says, Jai Ma, Pranam Swamiji, would you like to discuss, say a few words on the primordial sound pranav? I generally don't spell out, I don't pronounce AUM, okay? One is not supposed to do it without authority. So authority sannyasis ko to hoti hai, but I'm not going to say the word. I will just say pranav. Pranav means power, theek hai? So AUM is also called pranav. And the different ways in which the term is used. As is well known, the concept of the sacred pranav, Omkar, is integral to Sikhism, Buddhism and Jainism too. Chanting and meditation practices focus on the sacred sound. You're right, chanting and everything is focused on pranav, provided you have authority. You see, authority is given by the Guru. So unless you have authority, I know आजकल की दुनिया में सब कुछ होता है. You know, everybody is doing everything. Even the things that are not supposed to be chanted, people are doing it. Okay? That is up to them. But I am following exactly what Ma used to say. I remember one devotee who had gone to Ma and he said, Ma, can I do the pranav? Can I do the chanting of pranav? You know what Ma's answer was? Agar kar sakte ho, to karo. What does it mean? If you don't have authority and if you try to do it, it can be reverse also. So, you know, everything is like you have to be eligible for different mantras, different things that you are chanting. So this is one of those, you know, that you have to be eligible, otherwise don't try to do things that are not permitted. Unless you have authority, of course, then you're permitted to do it. So if you're talking about the primordial sound, yes, pranav is the primordial sound from which this entire universe has been created. And from this sound comes the original vibration. Wo vibrations say all other vibrations of the universe have emerged. So that is the original vibration, theek hai, from which it has emerged. Now there are, if you see pranav, there are three letters, right? AUM. So it is supposed to represent the past, present and future. That's how it goes. Now pranav is a very sacred mantra of the Brahman. So it represents the Atman and Brahman, the connect between Atman, the soul, and Brahman, which is the ultimate consciousness, the reality, the truth. So it represents that. It's a very sacred mantra. And it is basically a बीज mantra. Now I'm sure आप लोगों को सबको पता होगा कि बीज mantra cannot be chanted without authority. Beej mantra is given to you by your guru. And so it is important to know that. Okay? So it is also called Shabd Brahman. ये जैसे शब्द ब्रह्मन, वाक ब्रह्मन, अक्षर ब्रह्मन, सब होता है ब्रह्मन, right? So this is Shabd Brahman, it's called. So this is how it goes, you know, in all our Hindu texts and scriptures, especially Vedas and Upanishads. It is very much an integral part of the Vedas and the Upanishads. Every chapter begins and ends with the pranav. अब क्या है ना, अपने आश्रम में जो कीर्तन होता है, you know, Om Ma Shri Ma Jai Jai Ma, this is the kirtan that goes on. But it is never pronounced as AUM. Now this is something to remember. It is pronounced either with AUG or just O. O. The letter O. Okay? So when you sing, it sounds like you're doing AUM, but you're really not singing AUM. You're singing O or you're singing O. So it is never pronounced, like I said, without authority. There are young children, जो कन्या पीठ की बच्ची होती है, लड़कियां छोटी छोटी होती है, they are also singing. But they haven't got the authority to sing AUM. So it is always Oma. So it sounds like it is the AUM, but it is not. So Oma and either Oma, So the G becomes silent, and that's how they sing. So it's very interesting to know this. And I think everybody should know, yes, it is used for meditation. And जैसे योगी होते हैं, sannyasis होते हैं, इनका prerogative है to sing or to chant this, okay? Sannyasis are allowed to do all this. But not everyone. Pandits are supposed to do it. A lot of authority you need authority to do things like this. So this is how it goes with the pranav, as far as Hinduism is concerned. But if it will suffice if you say that fundamentals of Indian philosophy mein sabhi darshan mil jate, like you're talking about Buddhism. In Buddhism, it represents the ultimate reality, the truth, the consciousness. They don't say Brahman, but they say truth, consciousness, reality. So it represents that over there. So it's just the same thing everywhere. It's like, the paths are different for every sadhak, but the goal is the same. So Buddhism is basically that. Jainism mein kya hai? That there are 5 very powerful beings called Panch Parmeshti. Yeah. So those are the beings, you can call it beings or you can call it, power. And their initials begin with AAAUM. And that's how they take the same pranav, okay? And unka jo Navkar mantra hota hai, Navkar mantra is a very sacred mantra of the Jainism. Usme bhi this is used, the pranav is used, okay? Now as far as what is left? Sikhism. Sikhism mein they use pranav as salutation. They have a singular God. They pray to a singular God and they use it as a salutation, as an acknowledgement, as a respect to that singular God, and they use the pranav in that. So basically, Fundamentals of Indian Philosophy is a book that has been written by my father, okay? I still haven't been able to publish it. It's a very fat, huge book. And I have the manuscript with me. And he was teaching for 10 years in America. The government had sanctioned land and they had built a Hindu university over there. And he was doing volunteer work over there. And he was a great philosopher, my father. So he was teaching Fundamentals of Indian Philosophy. So Fundamentals of Indian Philosophy mein agar aap dekhte hai, so all the darshans are there. Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, all darshans you will find over there. So it would suffice if you say that, Fundamentals of Indian Philosophy mein agar aap padhte ho, to sab kuch hai. So it was a very comprehensive knowledge about all the comparative religions which he was teaching, okay? So we had regular satsang classes in the house. So, he had a lot of students who would come and he would teach them. So it was a wonderful time we went through, and that's how I have a little bit of knowledge about all this, not much, because I basically believe in practical and not theory. Theoretical knowledge is not something that attracts me. Jab tak ye mera sakshatkar nahi hota hai, tab tak I'm not happy. So everybody should strive to do a lot of sadhana to come to this. Book reading, what is Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, it's always important to know what is Hinduism. It is very important to know all this, but it's basically something that in terms of book reading, okay, or in terms of somebody's taught you or someone. It's very good. It's not bad at all. You must have knowledge about everything, book knowledge. But then that knowledge has to transfer into your own sadhana, into your own experience, and come to that own anubhav, Because agar hum pranav bolte hai, तो ये तो बहुत ही sacred बीज मंत्र है, तो ऐसे ही उठा के नहीं करते हैं. And by doing pranav constantly, whoever's given the authority, the idea is to jump from the material world into the spiritual realm. And that's what it does. By constantly chanting, all the material interests of life, slowly start waning away. You're not interested in lots of things that you were interested once upon a time. it all goes away and you go into the spiritual world. That's how it helps you. It's very powerful. This mantra is very, very powerful. So it is called Shabda Brahman. So that is all. I think, I've covered all your points. And you said something like, if you're interested or something. I have done this only because you've said it. But otherwise, for me, this is not something that I'm interested in talking about. Okay, it's a very personal thing. And people should, बीज मंत्रस ऐसी चीज होती है जो अपने आप में रखो. उसको डिस्पर्स नहीं करो. दुनिया में सब कुछ होता है. गायत्री होता है, प्रणव होता है, महामृत्युंजय जप होता है. But people don't understand that it should be done only with authority, not otherwise. So you had said, would you like to discuss, say a few words on the primordial sound pranav? Would you like to know? I would not like to. I am doing it only because you have asked me to do it. Okay? That's why I think I had written a comment to you saying that, I'll think about it. So I did think about it and I said, ठीक है, since you have raised this, because I think you also know what you're asking. It's not that you are not aware, since you are saying in Buddhism, Jainism, all this you've mentioned, the concept of the sacred pranav is integral to Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism. You know about all that. So then why ask, since you already know. So I have just saying things because you have asked me to, nothing more than that. ठीक है, so that's all for now and I'll see you next time. Jai Ma.